Yo, what is good everybody, and welcome back to another video. Now this is my first video on the game Go Fishing. I think it's based on the game Fish, but personally I think it's a little more fun, and I'll go into why. Quickly, it's just because I feel like it's a lot easier to level up and, catch more rare fish. But anyway, let's get into this, because this is the ultimate guide to go from level 1 to level 400 plus. As you can see here, I'm currently level 430, and I started the game today. So I'll give you a little tutorial on what I did to get from level 1 to 430 in just a couple of hours. And you don't need any macro, you don't need any auto clicker, because the game has the auto fishing feature, which I believe you don't unlock it immediately once you start, but it's very soon after. So anyway, let's get into it. Alright, now the first thing you guys should do is hit the escape button, because what that does is that pops up the Hey Player menu, so you can claim the black hole. So I already claimed it, but what that is it is a lure, so you'll go to the backpack icon, and it'll be a bait. It's actually, they give you one, and it is the best bait in the game, but don't use it though. Like, just keep it in your inventory, don't use it. So start out with the wooden rod, as you would have to, and you want to start here, catch a couple fish. Make sure to try to get the 10 times, which is the maximum, and just click all the targets as you normally would. Claim that. And you can get, catfish. You can click the index to see what you can get. This is the default aisle. Best thing's the blobfish. But just stay here catching these till you get about $200, which is about, I think, 5 or 6 fish. It really depends on which one you get, but it's not a long time. So then you're going to go to Fish Trader, sell these, 120 bucks, 90. So just do that until you get about 2 to 300. Then what you're going to want to do is talk to this shop guy right here. Fishing rod. And so since you're starting with the basic rod, which isn't even on here, I personally thought it was a better idea to skip the steel rod and go straight to the gold rod. So that's the first thing you're gonna want to get. So anyway, once you get that, you're just gonna want to go back here, get about, I'd say 500, which should only take, a very short amount of time, especially because that fishing rod now does 3 times luck and 2 times strength, which means strength means you can click, you can get the fish quicker, and luck is, pretty obvious. Once you get about 500, I would recommend just buying either a couple apple baits or just no baits at all. Honestly, you don't really need it. But what you 100% need at the beginning is luck potion. And all you need is, to really start out, you just need 1 or 2 of these, which is 200 bucks, and it gives you 1.5 times luck. But I would recommend a luck potion more than anything, and if you have extra, just get like 1 or 2 speed potions. But then next, what you're going to want to do is head over to the dealer right here. And the first one you want to buy is the raft. But just spawn the raft. And this is during the Christmas update, so the Christmas world is right here, and which is where we're going to go next. But if you're watching this video after the Christmas update, you can see from the index, these go in order in terms of difficulty. So you can skip the Christmas village and go to either the volcanic, or you probably can't do snowy, so I would just say volcanic. But right now, for the Christmas update, we're going to go to the Christmas world. But volcanic would work the same way. Alright, so now if you're on the Christmas island, you should have gotten there. It should take about 45 seconds or to, a minute. But then you'll just want to go over here or anywhere on the island and pick up a few. Actually, by now you guys should have, as I said, the gold rod or diamond if you really saved up a little extra, but you can easily get the diamond from this area. So that was a 10 times luck, but either way you should be getting like 9 or whatever, and you could put on the auto fishing, which I believe you should have at this point. And then just easily catch. Well, that was a medium gift, but we'll go again. So like the duck, that sells for, I believe, a couple hundred. You could put on auto fishing if you want, and at this point you'll have gotten probably 10 levels. So the ones I recommend, as you can see here, obviously my stats are very boosted, but really, all you need at the beginning of the game is really luck, and maybe a couple levels in fishing speed and strength if you want. At this point, you can have like 5 in luck, 2 in speed, or, like 5 in speed, 2 in strength, whatever you have. If you're like level 10, whatever. But I would say really luck is the most important thing, and strength. Fishing speed doesn't really matter, because then you equip the bait and better rods, and you end up being able to catch fish very quickly, so it's not that important. But anyway, then you're going to want to go to the fish trader after you collect a couple of these. You see they sell for like usually around 200 minimum. Then what you want to do next is go to the shop guy. Go for I got the diamond rod. You can skip it, but what I did was I went straight to the diamond rod, which I believe was 900, and then I went straight to the angel rod and skipped the amethyst. I personally skipped rods because I don't feel like it's worth it to get every single one, because you can get a decent amount of money just by, grinding a couple extra minutes and, not have to spend that extra 2,000. And at this point, you want to replenish your luck potions, so spend about, 300 here. Don't really need a strength potion, probably, but if you want to get a couple, you can, because it definitely does help with higher rarity fish. And then a couple of speed potion ones. Don't worry about the 2s or 3s yet, because it's just not worth it. And for bait, the one I used up until I had a good amount of money was the worm. The reason I did this was because it has a very fast, catching speed. Strength, not too much, but it's alright for this area, and a little bit of luck. I would either recommend this one or the grapes because of the luck. So anyway, once you have the angel rod, you want to just continue fishing here for only until you get about, I'd say, 5,000 cash. Just enough so you can at least spend 1,000 to get the boat raft. Because the boat raft, it has 4 speed, which is enough for where we're going now. Which the next place is the Volcano Isle. Alright, now when you arrive at the Volcano Isle, what I did was I kept my, everything I had. I had a couple thousand, so what I did was I went to the shop, go to the baits. What I did was I bought a couple of worms. Then I quit the worms because personally I thought the worms were very helpful to get good stuff. And also, don't use that black hole lure you got. I'd recommend just keeping that. You really can if you want to, but I'd recommend just saving it until you get to a higher rarity area so you don't really waste it because they are pretty expensive. So then you're going to want to go to this dock here, which I personally got pretty lucky, or maybe it's just a better luck spot, I don't know. But I got the monster fish, whale, and halosaurus pretty quick. And by now you'll only be getting a couple hundred per fish, but those give a couple thousand, which is huge. So really fish here for just a couple of minutes while you can. Just because usually these give a good amount and they are pretty easy to catch. I didn't really have a strength problem at this area, which was nice. And what you want to do is just keep upping the luck. And fishing speed, I'd say just get to like level 10. As you can see, I have mine at 13 and it doesn't really do much. It's really luck and strength that helps a lot, but really just luck at this point in the game. So you're going to want to go to the fish trader. You're going to sell all, and that gave me 3K right there. So then go to the shop guy, fishing rods, and I would say just grind for a couple minutes. It shouldn't take that long, and keep your boost going, keep the worm baits going or the grape boost, and then save until you get the rainbow rod. Fish a little bit more until you get a couple tens of thousands or, just something around that. You want to go to the ship dealer and spawn your boat. You probably won't have the pontoon yet, but so just spawn the boat, hop in. And the next one you want to go to is, I personally skipped the snowy biome. I didn't feel like it was worth it. I went straight to deep waters. So let's just make our way over here to deep water. Alright, so now when you're in deep water, the rod you'll be wanting to save up for is, personally, I got the devil rod, I believe it was called. Let me see. Yeah, devil rod right here. It is the next one, and I said I was skipping them. But this one was about 45k, while the bone rod and the dead rod were... This was 125k and this one's 250. But what I did, so I saved for 45,000, and all you gotta do is make sure your boosts are on, as I said, the lures are on, and just fish here. Because these fish do give a lot more. Some of them you might not be able to catch because of the strength problem, which is why you should have your strength potion, and just, make sure you can actually, like you might not be able to catch like manta rays yet, but you should be able to catch the eels, yellowfish, and the pike. Maybe the anglerfish if you're high enough level. But you want to stay here until you're about level 70 or so. And as I said, just save up until you get 45k. Grind here, come back, save until you get about 250k. But also buy, what I would recommend for the bait is getting the gummy bait. Which usually you can, because what you want to do is you want to buy about 40 of these and then have my auto fisher on until all of those are gone, and then sell, and you should get a lot of money, and just repeat that process until 250k. Once you're at 250k and you should be around level 60 to 80, you're going to want to hop back in your ship. Now you definitely should buy the pontoon at this point because it is much faster. So you want to hop in the ship, look in the index, you want to go to the ancient ocean. The fish here are much better than the deep waters for sure. Honestly, level doesn't matter too much, so don't worry if you're a little bit far off of my what is it, my levels that I said you should have at this point, which is like 60 to 80. If you're a little bit lower, it's fine. If you're higher, it's, you know, just even better. But anyway, once you're here, you should have either the, what is it, the Devil Rod or the Dead Rod. If you don't have the Dead Rod, it's alright, because it might be too difficult to get at that previous place, but you at least want the Devil Rod. So you want to grind up into, if you don't have the Devil Rod, I mean the Dead Rod, sorry, I would recommend going for that. Or you can skip to the Trident, but the Trident is about 550k, while this is 250. But just go to the dock, and I fished around here. It doesn't really matter where, though. So just fish here, auto fishing on, and you probably won't be able to kill the fish here, or at least some of, like, you might be able to get some of the decent ones, but not any of the very rare ones. Like this, this is just, you know, you won't be catching a Kraken right off the bat. That one's just because, you know, my extra luck levels. But what you want to be looking for is the skeleton, spike ball, and worm. Those are probably the only ones you'll be able to catch at this point once you get here. But they still sell for a ton, and you can make a ton of cash. So once you fish up a bunch of those, you're going to want to sell them. Come over here. Sell, get as much money as you're able to get. Come back over here. And you're going to want to try to get the Trident Rod first. But always while you're fishing, use bait. It is much better. If you've just been using the gummy bait and you're able to afford a bunch of another one, I would say either the fish bait or the star bait. Because you want like 40 to 50 so you can grind up a ton and without spending most of your cash. So once you get the Trident Rod, I would recommend just going to the next area. And then you're going to want to hop back in your raft. Go to the ship dealer, hop back in the raft, and you're going to want to head over to the Highfield. Alright, now it should have taken you about a minute and a half, if even that, to get to the Highfield, and once you're here, you're going to be wanting to save up for, so go to the rod, you're going to want to be saving up for the Spider Rod. I know it's a big jump from the Trident Rod, but I feel like it's much, since the price difference between these three, this is 2.5 mil, it's not a big difference between the 1.25 and 1.75. So I'd recommend just sticking with the Trident, buying bait, and the bait I used here, I bought a ton of the diamond baits. This was my personal favorite, got me a ton of rare stuff. I was catching the homars, which are the lobster things right here. Catching these a lot, these give a ton. You're just going to want to keep repeating the process that I mentioned. And at this point, you should have the Trident Rod. If you don't, stick with the Dead Rod, but anyway, get the Trident Rod, and just fish off to the side here. You know, as you would in any other location. Keep upgrading your luck and strength if needed. This is about the area where I started to upgrade my strength. And if you're, and look, you get ones like this. Obviously my luck is a little bit boosted because of my level, but you should be able to catch these and homars pretty easily, like with the diamond bait. You're just going to want to keep repeating that selling process that I was saying before and buying more bait while still keeping a lot of money, so then you can eventually afford the Spider Rod right here. And once you get the Spider Rod, this might take a little while, probably half an hour to 45 minutes, I would say, of grinding here, depending on how lucky you are. And if I didn't, and I forgot to mention it, but once you get a lot of fish, always make them gold and diamond if you're able to before just selling all, because you do get a little bit more money, so it does help. But anyway, at this point you'll be level, probably over level 100 for sure at this point, once you get the Spider Rod. And then finally, you want to go to the ship dealer. You want to hop in your boat, and you're going to eventually go to now the Toxic Island. Alright, now once you arrive to the Toxic Island, you are officially at the latest part in the game currently, and you want to be fishing off of this dock. I mean, personally, I find that the luck here is pretty good. I don't know if there's a difference. There probably isn't, but that's where I fish. So at this point, you want to be going to the shop. And the bait I recommend using is, if you just get here, you'll probably only be able to afford like still the diamond or the rainbow. I used the rainbow a lot when I first got here. It was definitely really good. And the rod I would recommend just saving for, I would recommend skipping the thunder and going straight to the toxic. This does take a little bit because it is a pretty big money gap. It's about 10 mil gap. This was 12.5 mil. This is 2.5 mil. But just keep repeating that process with the rainbow bait and eventually the galaxy bait if you can afford it. And make sure you save all your fish up and make them golden and rainbow, because it is much better. And at this point, with the skills, you want to be upgrading mainly strength until you get to about level 100 on strength, and then just put it all into luck, in my opinion. Because The bait gives you extra luck and strength, but when you first get to this area, a lot of the fish are going to be very difficult to catch. Even for me, even as being level 430, I haven't even been able to get this one yet, and there's still 4 more additional ones in here. So really what you want to do is just put as much into strength as you can. Try to keep expensive baits without, running your money down, so then you can keep selling, repeating that process until you get to the toxic rod right here. And I don't have it yet, but what I'd recommend doing is doing the same repeating process that I've been mentioning all video up until you get the lightsaber rod, which is currently the best in the game. If you want to, you can get the nuke rod. It is the second best, but personally I'm probably just going to go straight to the lightsaber because much better catching speed, luck, and strength. And that's really all there is to this guide. So I will be answering any additional questions in the comments, so if you have any questions about this or anything that I missed out, let me know and I'll be open to responding to you guys. So let me know if you want more content on this game, and anyway, thank you for watching.